The parable of the house that reflected the souls of its owners. They say that in every abandoned house lives silence, but in one house, the silence was too alive, like a beast lurking in the dark. It stood empty for a long time, until one day a man bought it. Harsh, stubborn, used to ruling rather than listening. He wanted silence, so no one would interfere with him being the master of his own life. But the moment he crossed the threshold, the silence seemed to smile. The house closed behind him softly, almost soundlessly, as if a cage had just been shut. The first days, at first, everything felt ordinary. Drafts? Old floorboards? Rustles easy to blame on the wind. But the house was watching. When the man grew angry, the walls trembled. When he thought maliciously, the windows darkened, though the sun still shone outside. When he fell asleep, the house whispered, "You're not alone. I am here." He thought it was exhaustion. The house knew it was an invitation. When the house began to speak one night, the man awoke to a strange sound, as if someone was walking through the house, but the steps were too heavy, too slow, as though darkness itself was pacing the floor. He took a candle and stepped into the hallway. The flame trembled, not from wind, it trembled from fear. The hallway was longer than before, much longer, and at the very end, he saw a door that had never existed. The room that should not be, it was empty, completely. But the air inside was thick like the room had just exhaled. On the floor lay an old key. The man picked it up and heard, "You have found what you were looking for, even if you didn't know you sought it." He turned no one there. But the door behind him closed, and the lock clicked with the key still in his hand. The room grew darker, and in the darkness, an image began to surface, not in a mirror, for there was none. It appeared in the air itself, a reflection of the man, but the eyes in the reflection were not his. Then the room spoke, with the same voice that lived inside his own chest. "You believed you came to own this house, but it was the house that chose you. Those who bring darkness become part of it." The man tried to throw away the key, but it clung to his palm. He tried to run, but the door was no longer a door, only a wall. And the room continued. This house does not consume people. It consumes their shadow, the part they hide. You came with darkness, and I accept you in that moment. The reflection stepped forward and entered the man like fog entering the lungs. He collapsed, but he did not die. A week later, people passing by noticed the house had changed. Its walls had darkened. Its windows had become deeper, as if rooms were no longer behind them, only wells. And on the doorstep stood a man exactly like the previous owner. Only his eyes were empty, as if no one lived behind them anymore. A traveler asked, "Do you live here?" The man of the house answered quietly, as though someone else spoke through him. "No, the house lives in me." And the door behind him closed slowly, all by itself.